So today we want to look at something we call business letter. So that is what we are going to discuss today, business letter. Business letters. So we start with the introduction. Right, that a business letter is a professional. A business letter is a professional formal letter is a professional formal letter that is sent by one company, that is sent by one company to another company, and to their customers, or other external parties, for various commercial purposes. First of all, a business letter is a valuable communication tool. In a company. Since one, it conveys a message. Number two, it provides a permanent record. For future reference. Number three, it provides evidence in the event of legal disputes. Another one is that it creates an opportunity to build. It creates an opportunity to build goodwill of the business. An opportunity to build goodwill of the business. So that is what we mean by a business letter. We are saying it's something that is professional. Something is called professional if we have a format that is known. Something is called professional if there are already some rules that should be followed when you are doing it. And we are saying it is something formal, so it's something official, it is something that is written. So there is this question of December 2022, question 1C. December 2022, question 1C. December 2022, question 1C. Tekra, you can read for us.
December 2022, analyze 4 factors that make business letters valuable communication tools in an organization.
Thank you, thank you. So the factors that make it a valuable communication tool. So we have said 1, it helps us to convey a message. We are able to communicate. Number 2, it provides record for future reference. You can always refer later on. And number 3, in case there is a legal dispute, we can always refer to that. The other one is it gives us an opportunity even to build our goodwill, to build our reputation, our image through letters. Good. Let's look at objectives or purposes of business letters. Objectives or purposes of business letters. Objectives or purposes of business letters. So these objectives, they are very similar to the reasons that we have just given there, but all the same, we shall capture them. So number 1 is to exchange information. To exchange information. Number 2, to establish business relationships. To establish business relationships. Number 3, to make an inquiry. To make an inquiry. Another one is to enable making the right decisions. To enable making the right decisions. Making the right decisions. Okay, next is place orders. Place orders. Place orders. Next is to create goodwill. Create goodwill. Another one is Save time and costs. Save time and costs. Compared with personal visits. Compared with personal visits. And expand markets. Expand markets. So we are saying those are purposes of the letters. Eugene, karibu sana. We are looking at this topic, business letter. Now let's look at types of business letters. Types of business letters. Types of business letters. Types of business letters. Types of business letters, and we write that there are very many types of business letters. There are very many types of business letters. Depending on the content. Depending on the content and the purpose of the letter. Depending on the content and the purpose of the letter. The most common are number one, inaitwa letter of inquiry. Letter of inquiry. And write that this is a letter that represents. This is a letter that represents a request for further information. A request for further information. It should clearly explain the issue. It should clearly explain the issue whose information is being sought. Should clearly explain the issue whose information is being sought. Whose information is being sought. So that is the first one. We are calling it the letter of inquiry. You may write to someone asking to be given more information. But we are saying for it to be very active, effective, ensure that you are very clear on what is it that you want to be told. For example, if you write a letter and you say, tell me about George. So what exactly do you want to know about George? You need to clarify. Tell me about his character, tell me about his job, tell me about his family, tell me about all those things. So you specify. Otherwise, when you say, tell me about George, they can decide to write anything. They can write about where I come from in the village. But for your case, you wanted to know how I am as a teacher. So they will have responded to your letter, but it will not meet your purpose. Number 2 is follow-up letters. Follow-up letter. Follow-up letter. This is sent to promote. This is sent to promote or monitor a previous communication. Or monitor a previous communication. E.g., resolutions of a meeting, resolutions of a meeting, an interview, a sales order, etc. So that is what we are calling the follow-up letter. Now, this follow-up would be 2 ways. One, you can send it to check the progress. I'm following up on the issue I had raised. I'm following up on the sales order I sent. Where are we? It could also be sent to confirm or to clarify or to provide evidence or to promote any previous discussion. Like maybe we had a meeting, we discussed and agreed on several issues. Now, as a follow-up, I give you a write-up that in regard to a previous meeting, this is what was agreed. So it could be confirming what was agreed, or it could be checking the status of a previous communication. Number 3 is called cover letter. Cover letter. Those who have gone for interviews, they should know this. Those who have not, they have no idea what a cover letter is. But now they get it. They all be cheating them. But what is the representation? But don't know the name of I want to give a full letter. Okay, cover letter and write that this is sent with. This is sent with. This is sent with. And explaining the contents of another document is sent with and explaining the contents of another document or a consignment of goods or a consignment of goods. E.g., a cover letter sent together with CV, curriculum vitae. A cover letter sent together with curriculum vitae. That's what we call cover letter. When you are applying for a job, there are 3 documents that we normally send. At least there are 2 people who told me they attended an interview. Had you applied, or you were just told to go for the interview? You are told to go, so they did not send documents. Okay. The same. So the others who have not, have you ever applied? Or when you were away, we were asking ourselves who has ever attended an interview. Have you? Okay. Now, soon you will be. When you are applying for a job, there are 3 sets of documents that you should send. One is called cover letter. Number 2 is called the curriculum vitae. And number 3, copies of your documents. Which I had my CV should have shown you. I support print. Huh? You want me to print? I can print. I have no problem. I hope time will allow me. But these are the 3 things that you need to show. The cover letter. Cover letter is giving more details. It's giving more details. Thank you. It's giving more details about the CV. So it is in the CV that I've indicated my names, I've indicated my experiences, I've indicated my education qualifications and so on. But the cover letter now gives more details. When I say I have a degree, when I say I have CPA, what do I exactly mean? Can I provide more details? Can I now say I am a team player, I am good in communication, I can work under stress with very little supervision? All those good things that you can say about yourself, they are included in the cover letter. Actually, cover letter is more of a summary of what we expect to see in the curriculum vitae. Now, in the curriculum vitae, you have, it's normally done in a very smart way where you capture all those things. And then you must now give us copies to support the allegations or the claims you have made in the CV. You have said you have CPA, where are the certificates? Kama umesema ulifika form 4, where is the certificate? Kama umefanya class 8. So those are the 3 sets of documents that must be included in sending an application form. But in a company, because you are not sending CVs, we send other documents. Like maybe it is a bag like this one you want to send to someone who is in Mombasa or wherever. You can put a cover letter that I'm sending to you a bag which is black in color, and therein it contains A, B, C, D. That's a cover letter. It is sent together with something, but is meant to explain the details. Number 4 is called acknowledgement letter. Acknowledgement letter. Acknowledgement letter. Write that this is sent to confirm receipt of an item. This is sent to confirm receipt of an item. Confirm receipt of an item from someone. From someone. From someone, or to confirm that you are aware. Or to confirm that you are aware of something pointed out. Confirm that you are aware of something pointed out. Yeah, so when someone sends you a letter, or they send you something, it is very, very important to acknowledge that I hereby confirm that I have received this parcel, I have received this message. Or someone raises a concern. It is good you tell them Thank you for raising the concern, but we are already aware and we are addressing it. I'm aware of that fact. I'm aware of that error and so on. Are there something that I find being deficit in a very big way in our normal to normal relationships? People are not very good in acknowledging. When someone sends you something, for example, mtu amekutumia pesa, do you bother to say, I confirm receipt? Do you bother to use the same energy to say thank you, similar to the one you are using to demand for the money? Majority of us, they can call you like 10 times. Hey, ile pesa ulisema aje, ulisema aje. But the moment you said, they go silent. When someone writes you a message, it's good to write noted. I'm just trying to remember the other day I sent some of you some messages. How many responded? It's good to acknowledge. Noted. Hata kama usemi umekubaliana nayo, just let the other person know it is noted. Especially with the platforms where we are not able to confirm. You know, with WhatsApp, at least we are able to confirm when we see the blue ticks. But even with that, there are some fellows who have enabled their gadgets that you cannot tell whether they have read or not. Yeah. So it is very, very important to acknowledge. Yeah. Even when someone sends you somewhere, I normally find it with many of my students. Maybe I send you somewhere, maybe there is a job opportunity, there is an interview, I tell you, take your papers there or go and see so and so. Many people go, they don't report back that I went for the interview. Some even get the job. They don't tell you that I got the job. Wanangoja tu mpaka ile time, nature will just bring things. Mtapatana tu, hii unakumbuka pale ulituma nilipata. It is not good. It is always good to do what? To acknowledge that I have received or I have taken note. It's usually important. The other one is complaint letter. Complaint letter. Complaint letter. This is written to demonstrate displeasure. This is written to demonstrate displeasure. It's written to demonstrate displeasure without being over the top angry. Without being over the top, in quote, angry. Over the top angry. Stop it. It should also suggest how the issue can be handled. It should also suggest how the issue should be handled. Yeah, I think sometimes back I told you about this, that when you're raising a complaint, it is okay and it is in order that you make us to be aware that you are not happy. You are not okay with what is happening. But that does not give you permission to add salt to the injury, to start insulting us, to start describing us with some very funny words. You need to do so in a very tactful way. In a very respectful way. You don't have to show that you are over the top angry. A few minutes before I came here, I was listening to a debate, and one person is describing the others as brokers. So when you want to tell me what I'm doing is wrong, you can still tell me that what Kimani you are doing is wrong, without necessarily telling me, stop acting as a broker. Now, when you call me a broker, my emotions will also react. And when my emotions react, nipate zako ziko already up, then we cannot help each other. We cannot so. So express your displeasure, but don't be over the top angry. And if possible, suggest what you think should be done. Suggest a solution. Yeah. But unfortunately, most of us, they are very powerful and very quick in just raising the problem, but very slow and very weak in giving the solution. Ni kweli naongeanga vibaya, but can you help me and tell me how I should speak kweli? Wewe sijui unavaanga aje. Ni sawa, ni kweli venye navaanga haikufurahishi. Give me a suggestion that badala ya kuvaa hivi uko unavaa. Yeah. So most people, they are very quick to just complain, just cite the problem, but very few are able to give us solutions. But I'm not in any way again saying that they do something wrong. Actually, as a concept of management, if you are able to listen to a criticism that is coming from a person, chances are it can help you to improve your life. Because again, to raise a criticism is very, very difficult. Watu wengi watakuona you are doing something wrong, ama mambo yako inaharibika, and they just keep quiet. Those of us who come from my village, huwa tunasema wacha mambo itokezee na wenyewe. So I can see something wrong is happening to you, but I just choose to keep quiet until the day umegongwa. That's the time nakuja kukwambia nilikuwa naona venye ulikuwa unaenda. I knew it was only a matter of. Now that is wrong. But if you get a person who can face you akwambia wewe hiyo tabia yako sioni kama iko mzuri, hiyo direction unachukua, I'm not happy with it. If you could listen to what they are saying and you separate yourself from that act and look at it objectively, you can be able to make an improvement. I remember some times back, I was a principal in a certain school, and when I was doing marketing, I normally used to call students who would come and make inquiries. So there is this one student I called, and I told her, Kimani, oh, I wanted to encourage you to come and join us, blah, 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 blah. And the student did not miss her words. She told me, I cannot come to that school of yours. It's very dirty. Now, I had the option, or what I did, I chose to listen to her until she completed her debate. But I had the option of publishing her, nikwambie kwenda kabisa, unafikiria hata tuko na wanafunzi wangapi? Is it a must tusomee hapa? Hii shule hata imekuwa hapa miaka mingi bila wewe na itaendelea bila wewe. I could have chosen to respond that way. But what I did, I listened to the student. Then after talking to the student, I came out. Just like hapa kuna hii kiti. Nikakaa hapo. And I called one of the guys who are cleaning. Kwambia sasa kuna mteja amesema hii shule yetu ni chafu sana. And the guy kumbe he knew and he had the solution. Akamwambia, hujui ni kweli ni chafu. Na kama unataka ikuwe smart, weka tiles kama hizi. Our neighbors in the other side walikuwa na tiles kama hizi unaona hapa. Niambia ukitaka ikuwe smart, weka tiles kama hizi. And the following day we moved and we put those tiles at the front office and it looked so good. And guys would come to the office and congratulate me of facelifting the reception. Why did that facelift come? Because someone chose to do what? Complain. So if you can listen to some people as they complain against you, you can still make some progress. But unfortunately, people hate those who criticize. Especially now at your age, now that you are the age where you're forming serious relationships with some other people, the opposite gender. And some of us raise concern. Unatukasirikia na unaenda kumwambia Kimani alikuwa anasema hivi. Mnaungana against me. Wait until the day you suffer. I hope you still go for the person kuje. So it's good to listen. I'm not in any way saying that you go listening to every Tom, Dick, and Harry who complains, because there are also others who complain out of weave. Yeah, there are also those. But my point is, listen and then analyze why the person is talking. So that was about complaint letter. Number 6 is called adjustment letter. Adjustment letter. Adjustment letter. And rather, this is sent in response to a claim. This is sent in response to a claim or complaint. Response to a claim or complaint. First of all, it is used as a relationship building tool. It is used as a relationship building tool. Yeah, so that is a letter that we write to make the adjustments to confirm that we have received your complaint and this is the step that we are taking. Number 7 is called order letters. Order letter. Order letter. And write that this is sent by consumers or businesses. This is sent by consumers or businesses. Businesses to a manufacturer. To a manufacturer or a retailer. Or a retailer. Or a wholesaler. Or a wholesaler. Order for goods or services. Order for goods or services. First one. It contains specific details of the items being ordered for. Contains specific details of the items being ordered for. So we are saying that when you make an order, you should give very specific details. When you talk of specific details, we are talking of which product do you want, how many units, which size, color, and so on. Number 8, they are called sales letters. Sales letters. Sales letters. And we write that this is written to a prospective customer. This is written to a prospective customer. To introduce the business to them. Introduce the business to them. And to urge them to buy. And to urge them to buy. Again, that is also very, very direct. We are writing to a prospective customer. We want to introduce ourselves to them. We want to tell them what is it that we offer, how they can get it, what are the advantages of getting the product, and we want to request them to buy. Number 9, they are called business invites. Business invites. Business invites. And write that this is written to reach out to a company. This is written to reach out to a company or an individual inviting them to attend an event. inviting them to attend an event. Again, that is also very clear. You could write like now as Destiny, if we have an event that is upcoming, we could write to CASNEB, we could write to University of Nairobi, we could write to any other company or to any individual, inviting them to come and attend or to come and grace an event that we want to hold. The last one is called letter of recommendation. Letter of recommendation. Letter of recommendation. This is written to recommend someone. This is written to recommend someone for a particular opportunity. It's written to recommend someone for an opportunity. Yeah, that one is what we call a recommendation letter. When you want to go for an interview, you need a recommendation letter or anywhere else. Like now, what I have here, this is a recommendation letter. It's a student who had requested we write a recommendation letter for them. Maybe they have been invited to go and attend interview. So we write that we know this person, blah, blah, they are okay for that opportunity, they can be considered. This is called a recommendation letter. Good. The next thing that we need to look at is what we call components of a business letter. Components or parts of a business letter. Components or parts of a business letter. Number one is called letterhead. Letterhead stationery. Letterhead stationery. And write that the letter should be printed on an official letterhead. The letter should be printed on an official letterhead. Full stop. A letterhead contains on the minimum name of the company, logo of the company, address of the company, names of directors, comma, company number, etc. Company number, etc. So that is what we are calling a letterhead. Now you see what I have here. This is a letterhead. It is not like any other paper like this one. Now, if you are to print in this paper, this is not an official letter. Official letter must be on letterhead. And you can see on the minimum, this letterhead should show us some things. One, you should be able to see the name of the company that is sending the letter. You should be able to see the logo of the company. You should even be able to see the motto, like now what you're saying, the seat of the wisdom. Then on down here, you should be able to know the address, the physical location. Like now, this one is showing that we are located at the Bazaar Plaza 11th from Moi Avenue, opposite Equity Bank, Kimathi Street. It should also show us the contacts. If you want to call us or to reach us, we have the PO box here. We have the cell phone numbers. We have the email. Those are contacts. There are some letterheads that will also even down here indicate the director, the names of directors of the company. They will also indicate the company number. Companies are usually registered. Like if you go to our reception there, you will see the incorporation certificate that has registered Destiny. That incorporation certificate has a number. So we can also choose to show it here. But different companies choose the content that they show on their letterhead. That's why we have said on the minimum. On the minimum, at least you should know the name and the contacts of the company. So if we write to you a letter and it is not in this letterhead, that letter don't go away with it. It is not official. It cannot be accepted elsewhere. So if there is any correspondence that Destiny is writing for you or writing to communicate with an outsider, it must be on the letterhead. That's the first component. Number two, letter reference. Letter reference. Letter reference. I would like that. This helps both the sender and the receiver. This helps both the sender and the receiver to identify the letter. To identify the letter. So that is the letter reference. You can write, it is written as, or it appears as follows. It appears as follows. Your reference, you can say GKH 319 or 393. Our reference is DTTI 4139. Something like that. I will lost. We are talking about the data reference. Na tukasema it is used to identify the data, or it helps both the sender and the receiver to identify the data. So nikakuja nikasema tuongeze. It is done like this, or it appears like this. Your reference, so this number, GKH 393. Our reference, DTTI 4139. So now this one is written to help us identify the data, especially when you deal with volumes. You can be able to easily track. Like now, I was at our office requesting for a letter. You see, even up to now, they have not managed to give me a letter. Because most likely the letter do not have what? Reference. But if you have a reference, you are told, give me this letter, GKH 393. So it is very easy. Unajua, ukifika kwa 200, you need to go to where 300s are. It's very easy to find it. But if we don't have the reference, it becomes difficult. Now, this your reference, it is referring to a letter that was written to you by the person you are sending the letter to. But now, this is your reference. Now, if you look at our letter here that I have here, this one does not have the reference. They have not indicated our reference. So if you are told to track this in their file, it will take you ages before you get it. Number 3, name and address of the receiver. Name and address of the receiver. Name and address of the receiver. And we write that this is the letter. Sorry. Yeah, like now this one, which I have from the office of the Auditor General. Now this is what we are calling the reference. And see training 3/volume dot 3/-181. So you can imagine the office of the Auditor General, it receives so many documents. So if you want to extract this data, you need to tell them, 1, it is in regard to training. Then it is training number 3. Then it is volume 3 and number 181. So if you want to identify this data, it's very easy. If you want to locate it, it is very, very easy. Okay, good. Haya. So sijuka tumeandika, this is the address where your letter will be delivered. This is the address where your letter will be delivered. First of all, it is required that the title of the person be captured. The title of the person be captured. There are two formats. as shown below. So one, you can say Mr. John Michael Executive Director, XYZ Limited, PO Box 192 Nairobi. If you're writing for a corporate, we don't show the name. We don't show the name. So you just write the executive director, the executive director, XYZ Limited, PO Box 192 Nairobi. Those are the two ways of writing the address. So I was saying, when you're writing this address, if you're writing to a partnership or a business where you know the name of the officer, it is recommended you show their title, kama ni Mr., kama ni Doctor, kama ni nani, you write the name, then the details follow. But for the corporate, for companies, we do not indicate the name. We just write the executive director, so on. Like now, you can see this letter. It was written to us as Destiny from this office of the Auditor General. But what they have done here, they have just said the director, Destiny Technical Training Institute. So they have not put the name of the director to whom the letter is addressed. So they just put that way. Then a letter like this one, you can see it has the address is to whom it may concern. This is now a general letter. You are not very sure itapelekwa kwa nani. So this one, the address, you simply write to whom it may concern. Number 4 is called date. 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 This shows the day. This shows the day, month, and the year. The day, month, and the year when the letter is written. When the letter is written. The order may differ. The order may differ. But the month must not be abbreviated. But the month must not be abbreviated or written in figures. Or written in figures. So like now, today is 16th of February 2023. Now this is wrong. Not write the big that. 16th of Feb 2023. That is also wrong because you're using abbreviations. The correct one is 16th day. Actually, some people go to full names. They write 16th day of February. But let me just confine myself to the minimum required. 16th February 2023. So just write like I'm writing so that you're able to remember what we're saying. I think I start. You cancel, you make a tick. I'm seeing people pay a lot of money to be shown how to write CVs and write letters. The other day, KFC had advertised. Did anyone see that advert? I received so many people calling me to show them how to write a CV. And there are guys who are making a lot of money just by telling people, come and show you how to write CVs. And there are many customers, including you people. Because you people, you do not belong to the post office generation. Our days we used to write letters. We used to have formats. But this is meaning to email, SMS, WhatsApp. Actually, it has even weakened your oral communication. Telling you, in my counseling sessions, I met a girl who told me they had met with a gentleman online. And when they agreed to meet physically for a cup of tea, other than saying hi, the guy was materialist. Na mkona mtu hapo, mnakunywa chai, and he starts now resorting to the phone, anakuongelesha through WhatsApp. Na mkona yeye hapo. It shows that you have become so weak already. So sasa tumetoka kwa being weak in terms of writing, sasa hata mdomo imekuwa weak. So where are we headed now? You know, our days we used to be very strong kwa mdomo. Because kama hujasoma sana, mdomo lazima sasa ikutetee. Wale tumesoma, then we were very strong in writing. And today some of us are a little bit weak in those electronics. But most of you now, you are opposite. Very strong in electronics, weak in oral, weak in writing. So that was just to show you how the dates should be written. Like now, you see these, how they have put in this letter, 16th February 2023. And the reason as to why we do this is when you write this Feb here, it can mean very many things to different people. Very many things. Actually, it's only that we may not have time. Maybe hata ukigugu these three letters, they could have a meaning other than February. So to avoid people getting their own meanings, write in. And I've seen some people who have said 16th day of the month of February, the year 2023. So when it is written that way, no one now can have a reason that I never understood what was written. You can see even this one from the Auditor General's office. They have said 26th September 2020. Okay. The next one is called salutation, number 5. Salutation. Salutation. This is a formal but simple greeting. This is a formal but simple greeting. Formal but simple greeting put at the opening of the letter. At the opening of the letter. First of all, it must be appropriate and not offending. It must be appropriate and not offending. First of all, if not sure, it can be avoided. If not sure, it can be avoided. So, it should end with a colon. Should end with a colon. Should end with a colon. For example, dear sir, that way. Dear madam, so here we are saying you should be very, very deliberate. Ensure that you do it in a very accurate way. And if you're not very sure, if you're not very sure of the title of the person again, it is better you avoid it. If you don't know whether the CEO is a madam, and it happens is a man, alafu umeandika dear madam, you'll be in trouble. That's why actually you see many people write dear what? Dear sir, stroke, madam. Now, when it is written this way, there will be no many complaints. But if I'm a man and you write a letter written to me, dear madam, I'll take a lot of offense. Take a lot of offense. And you remember the other day when you were, I don't know what you're talking about, and I told you, you must be very careful when you're writing these titles, because the computer can guide you to write a word that you never intended. And one of them, I told you, this one, instead of appearing as dear madam, the computer can give you this one, dear mad. Yeah. I also told you that you could be writing guy, or and it comes out as what? Guys, you guys, help me with revision materials. But haikutoka hii, ikatoka you gays. Ile matusi ilifuata kwa hiyo post. But from where it's at, I could judge that this student never intended to use this one. But he was not careful. Computer can promote ikatoa badala ya hii. So you need to be very, very careful. Or maybe you are addressing a lady and the lady is not married and you write Mrs. So what is the uniform way? MS. When you write MS, it caters for everyone. It caters for both Mrs. and, or the lady is married and you are calling her this. dangerous. Or you omit, actually some people you omit when you interact with some, especially at the university. That's where I used to see it. Huku nje haikuangi sana. If someone is a doctor and you cannot refer to them as doctor, I don't know whether you haven't met such fellows. You come to my office and tell me, excuse me, Kimani, and I'm a doctor. I will chase you. Go out. How can you address me as Kimani? You must come to my office and say, excuse me, Dr. Kimani. So you must be able to recognize the title. Yeah, you must be able to recognize the title. Although they depend with personalities, there are some guys who have a lot of titles, but they rarely use them. Actually, watu wengine ndio wanazitumia, but you rarely hear them talk of their titles. Rarely hear them talk of their titles. Okay. Actually, the more effective you become in your profession, the less important a title becomes. The opposite is true. I don't have to keep on telling you I'm Mwalimu Kimani, because I know my work will prove to you that I'm Mwalimu. I don't have to keep on telling you I'm bishop, I'm doctor. Wherever in your own ways, utakaa useme hii jamaa inakaa bishop, hii jamaa inakaa Mwalimu. Yeah. But the nature of human beings, we graduate, Yeah, we graduate. Okay. That was what? Salutation. Number 6, subject stroke heading. Subject stroke heading. And this is summarized theme of the letter. This is summarized theme of the letter. Summarized theme of the letter. First of all, it gives the main idea in very few words. It gives the main idea in very few words. It should be in bold and not underlined. It should be in bold and not underlined. And write example. Performance. Measurement. Seminar. Performance measurement seminar. So when you look at that, you are able to know that whatever is about the letter is about the performance measurement. It's a seminar. So that is what you expect to get there. And it should be in bold. Like now, the 2 letters I have here, you see this one from the Auditor General's office. It is saying Certified Public Accountant CPA sponsorship. So when you read that, you are able to know that this letter is all about sponsorship for people who are doing CPA. So it summarizes everything in very few words. Actually, you may not, depending on whether you are interested or not interested with the theme, once you see here, you may not need to read whatever they are saying, because you know this is now about sponsorship. If you look at this one, they are just talking about Mary Johnson. So that tells you that whatever is here is talking about this person. So if you are interested, you read. If you're not interested, you just forget about it. The other thing that we have said is that this title should be in bold, capital letters, but should not be underlined. Like now, sasa mwenye ameandika hii ni makosa. It should not be underlined. The same case here. Even this one should not be underlined. It should be bold, but not underlined. Yeah. And these small mistakes, they are the ones that make some people to be disqualified even in an interview. Because in the interview, the candidates who have been called, they share the same qualifications. So kama tunataka watu wa degree, nyote mko na degree. So how do we select? So tunaanza kuangalia vitu kama auto, which some people think they are irrelevant. Angalia wasema huyu hata hajui kuandika barua. Hata kama kuna degree. That's why actually we of the language we are producing have built what? Graduates. Mtu ako na degree na hajui kuandika barua, weka nje. There are some students who write me letters, like maybe you want to change your class from the day to a morning or evening, or you want to defer the semester, or you are asking for refund. Na venye umeandika nakwambia mimi this one I can't sign. Go and do another one. Wengine wananiandikia kwa karatasi amerarua kwa kitabu, amefika mpaka hapa. Change of class. Alafu unaleta. You are automatically what? Disqualified because of these seemingly simple or seemingly small things, but they count a lot. And the good thing or the bad thing is that when they will be counting, you will not be invited to explain. You see, like the example I've given of students who come to my office, that one they have the opportunity. I call them, namwambia hii sita sign sababu ya hii na hii. Go and rectify. But in the case of an interview, you have sent your document. You are not there. Ukuja kuulizwa bona hii uliweka line na ustahili kuweka line. Ndio uanze kusema hii ni kusahau, hii ni mwenye nilitaipia alisahau. No, you have no that opportunity. So it is either you have gotten it right and you are received, or you have gotten it wrong and you are rejected. Number 7 is message on body. Message on body. And we write that this is where the main ideas are communicated. Is where the main ideas are communicated. And arranged in paragraphs. And arranged in paragraphs. Preferably 3. Preferably 3. Full stop. When writing the body, semicolon and Roman 1. Each paragraph should have a clear purpose. Each paragraph should have a clear purpose. Number 2, use clear and correct language. Use clear and correct language. Clear and correct language with full punctuation. With full punctuation. Number 3, do not indent the first sentence. Do not indent. Indent the first sentence of a paragraph. Number 4, use either left aligned or justified text. Left aligned or justified text. Another one is write numbers in words. Write numbers in words. Another one is if the letter is more than 2 pages long, if the letter is more than 2 pages long, indicate paragraph numbers. Indicate paragraph numbers. So that is where now we have the full message. And we are saying it should be done in paragraphs, and preferably we just want 3 paragraphs. Now, the first paragraph should do an introduction of who you are. The second paragraph should now contain the message itself. And the third paragraph should do the conclusion, should do the appreciation. So at most 3. At most 3. And remember the other day when we talked about characters of a good paragraph, one of them was adequate development. That means you don't just give us paragraphs that are 1 sentence. Now, if you look at the letter that we have here, number 1, it has very many paragraphs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that is wrong. Sam, good morning. Now, when you have these 6, that is wrong. You should have at most what? 3 paragraphs. 3 paragraphs. Look at this one. You see this one has 1, 2, 3. It's okay. And then we are saying when you are writing these paragraphs, each should have a message. Like now, this one is saying the Office of the Auditor General has sponsored this for CPA at your institution. The office will meet the cost of the tuition only with other costs that will be paid by the staff. That's a message on itself. Number 2, we shall be grateful if you would kindly allow the officer and access the classes as we process the payment. So that's the call of action. What do they want us to do? Want to inform they will be sponsoring. But now the call to action is that we allow the guy to class. And finally, thank you for your continued support. That's appreciation. We'll be looking at it. Now, if you look at this one that I have, very many, the above, it is even boring to read. Very many. Yeah. The other thing is, when you are writing this paragraph, we have said, do not indent. To indent means, if you want to wanaandika, like now I can write, my name, Barbara, is, I come from. So the first sentence here inaingizwa ndani. That's what we call to indent. So when you are writing a body of a letter, you should use what we call left aligned. Now to left aligned ni zote zianze hapa. So unaona hapa ukiangalia zote zimeanza inside. Even the same with this letter. That's what we call the left indent. If you want right indent, zitasukumwa na huku hapa sasa ndio utakuwa na straight line hapa. Maneno yote itakuwa inaishia hapa. In a very clear way. But unaona sasa hapa hakuna kitu kama hiyo. The other thing is, if you don't want to use the left, then you do the justified. Justified ni where kila kitu inawekwa katikati and it has the same space. The same space. Okay. Haya, number 8 inaitwa complementary clause. Number 8. Complementary clause. Complementary clause. And write that this is a short remark. This is a short remark. Nasikia sauti. You used to sing that song. Bridget, mko mnaimba hiyo song? Nasikia sauti. Sauti ya mama ndio hiyo sasa Sawa Ito chali. Sijani sharova kama. Hebu hiyo imagine. Haya. So tumesema this is a short remark that marks the end of your letter. That marks the end of your letter. And should end with a comma. And should end with a comma. And should end with a comma. Should end with a comma. So the most common are yours truly. Yours what? Paid free. Or warm regards. Or with regards. Something like that. Those are what we call the commentary clauses. Like again, if you look at my two letters here, but this one has yours truly. Number 9 is called signature. Signature. Right, but this is the sign of the writer of the letter. This is the sign of the writer of the letter. It comes after the complementary clause. It comes after the complementary clause. Followed by name and title. Followed by name and title. Like now, this one that I have, if I was the one to sign it, I would have said you are fairly free. Comma. Then I append my signature. Actually, you can sign in whichever way, or if you are able to copy that, you copy. Then inafuatwa na George Kimani, then unasema director of studies. So that's how it should look like. So there should be the complementary, then the signature is followed by your full name. And if you are signing on behalf of someone, you should show. You see, like now, this letter of ours, so when they have typed, I will only append my signature. These are the details are there. But for this one, whoever signed it is not the Auditor General. But the person, after appending her signature, indicated the name Hannah Kenyajui and indicated that she was signing for Auditor General. So you must indicate for. Yeah, as indicate. The last item, number 10, is enclosures. Enclosures. As number 10. And rather, this is a brief list. This is a brief list of anything else. That is included with the letter. Of anything else that is included with the letter. So if there is anything that has been annexed, you should be able to indicate. So that is the format of a letter. So I believe you can now be able to do an official letter. There. You see the pattern. So because I have not given you a break, and I don't want to take a lot of your time now that you are being terrorized by some smell coming from somewhere. I can give you the following questions which you want to look at together. Then you look at them on your own. So the first one is November 2015, question 5C. November 2015, question 5C. Imefuatwa na September 2015, question 5A. There is a pilot of December 2021, question 3B. There is December 2021, question 1A. There is May 2019, question 5A. There is December 2022, question 7C. So those questions, they contain all what we have covered. There are only things that I have not given you, which are part of those questions. One of them is the requirements or qualities of a good business letter. So those ones you search. As you answer these questions, qualities of a good letter and the formats of letters. Very brief things. So we then call it a day at that juncture and to pick up from there in our next lesson.